All right, why don't we get started? First of all, welcome to this webinar, where it's to great delight to have Professor Bomyi Lim, who is the Biotechnology Master's Program Director. She's recently took over from Professor Scott Diamond, who's served with great distinction as the director for many years. My name is Boon Thau. I'm the Associate Dean of Graduate Programs and also faculty in Computer Science. So I'm going to hand it off to Bomyi. She'll tell us all about biotech, and also if you have questions, feel free to type it into the chat, or given the relatively small audience today, we could also take some of the questions live. And yeah, so I'm going to hand it off to Bomyi to take it from here.
Hey, sounds good. Can everyone see can you see the screen that I shared, or
Yes.
not really?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So hello everyone, as Boon just said, I'm Bomyi. I am a new director of the Masters of Biotechnology program. And today I'd like to spend some time to introduce you about our program. As you are aware, or as you may be aware, this is a highly interdisciplinary and flexible degree focused for students with biology and engineering backgrounds and related coursework. So we're looking for applicants with a strong undergraduate training in biology, mathematics, and engineering, with the goal of educating future leaders in biotechnology. And quickly, if I can quickly talk about our course requirements. Our students take 6 core courses in relevant fields such as biochemistry, biotechnology, and lab courses. And a student is allowed to take one of the 3 electives, which could be any courses in the university. So they may also that means they can take a course from other colleges, such as the College of Arts and Sciences and Wharton. And we also ask our students to take 4 elective courses depending on the track that they choose. We have 3 different tracks, which I will go into a little more detail later on, such as molecular biology, biopharmaceutical engineering, technology, and biomedical technologies. You can view the possible sort of a list of all courses that we offer to our website. So these are 3 tracks that are available. Are sort of roughly, we have 3 tracks: molecular biology. So here the focus really is on research. So the students are required to perform 2 research courses. So what that means is they will actually work with a faculty member here at Penn, and they can work with any of the faculty members at the university, including within engineering as well as outside of the engineering, including the medical school. Or sometimes we allow students to work with mentors who are outside of Penn as well. And in addition to these 2 research courses, students are required to take 2 advanced biology courses that are focused on drug development, cell and gene therapy, genetic analysis, so on and so forth. So most of the students who choose this track are often the ones who want to go to grad school or who want to go to apply to PhD program after getting the master's degrees. And the second track that we offer is the biopharmaceutical and engineering biology. And here, because here the focus is really on the pharmaceutical and the engineering. So we ask our students to take 2 quantitative courses that are relevant, such as statistics for biodata, or the modeling courses, or the data sciences, which are all relevant for analyzing some of the biological data, which becomes more and more pertinent as we are going into the realm of like quantitative biology. And in addition to that, students will take 2 extra electives in drug development, translational medicine, clinical trials, so on and so forth. Similarly, for biomedical technologies, we also require our students to take 2 quantitative courses that are similar as the other track, like statistics. And here the focus is a little more on the bioinformatics side and data science. And the students would also be required to take some advanced electives in epidemiology, clinical trials, vaccine discovery, so on and so forth. And many of the courses can actually overlap among these 3 tracks. So the students do not need to decide at the beginning which track that they want to choose. and they can decide as they actually move along or make progress towards their master's degree. We offer both a full-time and a part-time degree. We accept both full-time and the part-time students for the program. So domestic and US citizens may enroll on a part-time or full-time basis. For international students on visas, they must enroll in a full-time program because a certain number of CEUs or certain number of courses are required to maintain their visa status. So for domestic students, they can do both either part-time or full-time. For our international students, the only available option that we offer right now is a full-time study to maintain their visa status. Full-time registration means the students need to take either 3 courses or more. For part-time registration, students take 1 or 2 courses. So part-time students are often the ones who are actually working in a company and then who just take 1 or 2 courses per semester. Students typically take about 3 courses per semester, and the degree can be completed within 3 to 4 semesters within 2 years. The total number of CEUs that we require is 10, so that if you think of this, you can take this like 3 courses, 2 courses, 3 courses or something. So most of the students can finish within 3 to 4 semesters really easily. And this is a typical or an example schedule that some of our students have, such as in their first semester, they would take 3 to 4 courses. After that, another 3 or 4, and then in year 2, another 3 or 4. And if needed, in the very final year, they can take 1 course to get that final degree, to sort of meet the requirement. Here, even though in the very last semester, a student takes only 1 course unit, international students can apply for a reduced course load in their final semester. So that way it doesn't violate their visa status, so they can maintain their full-time status while taking only 1 course. And this is available only for their final semester. Some of the summer classes are offered, and it is possible, but availability is not always guaranteed. Let me actually talk to you a little more about the research program that we offer within our biotechnology program. So many students would complete this course called BioT 5990. So this is a course which gives a credit to students, like the letter grade to students after the semester, by working in a lab and doing research. So as I said before, students can work in any research laboratories doing relevant research. So that includes students can work with any of the mentors within engineering, med school, Wistar Institute, Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, and etc. that are located in the university. And by working in a lab about 10 hours per week, that's a requirement, students can get course credit for working in that lab at the end of the semester. Students may take up to 3 courses or 3 units of the BioT 5990 in any of the tracks. So even though students choose to do different track other than molecular biology, they can still complete or they can still do BioT 5990. We strongly recommend our students who are interested in going to or applying to a PhD program to do this research work, because that would allow them to get hands-on research experience in academia, as well as get a stronger letter of recommendations and have a lot of close interactions with other PIs in school, as well as other graduate students and professional students at Penn. Molecular biology track students may do this independent study or BioT 5990 in an off-campus placement, so they can actually replace this BioT 5990 with a CPT, the curricular practical training, on a case-by-case basis, meaning if they want to work with a company located in Philadelphia, or if they want to work in a different hospital located in Philadelphia that's outside of Penn, they also have a chance to do so in lieu of this BioT 5990. But the premise is the students need to be in the molecular biology track. Penn Engineering, we do not officially offer co-op options, but students can still participate in the following options of working in a company while completing their master's degree. So as I mentioned, that option is one of those options is this a CPT. So it usually occurs in a student's first summer. So after the first year, students must finish at least 6 course units before doing the CPT. So that's why we're saying typically students do so after 2 semesters and then that summer. And that CPT is, allows, and both our international students and domestic students can do it. And it allows students to work with mentors outside of Penn, such as in a company or other hospitals or other relevant fields. Sometimes students who are doing an internship, who did internship during the summer using these CPT options, they may get an offer to like continue their internship after the summer term. And in those cases, they can submit this form called AFS, Academic Field Study, AFS, and that would allow them to do a full-time internship during the fall semester without enrolling for any of the courses. And this CPT is not allowed in their final semester. So there are all these options that would allow the students to gain professional experience in an industry or in a relevant setting. More of this can be actually, more of the information can be found in the career services or by working with career services, which I'm going to go into detail in a second. At Penn Engineering and the University of Pennsylvania as a whole, we offer tons and tons of student resources. So sorry about the small font size or very busy slide, because that sort of represents how many resources that we offer to our students. And all these resources are available to all the biotech master students. So some of those would include the graduate affairs within Penn Engineering, as well as in the university level. We have different resources or separate resources for our international students. We have the whole organization called ISS, who would help the students give advice on their visa status or getting a job, so on and so forth. And under them, we also have many of the student associations for different countries, such as Indian, Chinese, or Korean, or other country, Latinas, those associations. We also offer, well, career services and health services and the counseling and the psychological services for mental health. And we have offices for diversities and inclusion, LGBT centers, so on and so forth, and advance of women in engineering to support those groups as well. So these are all sort of a university-wide or the Penn Engineering-wide resources that students have access to. In addition to that, we also offer some MBiot, the Masters of Biotechnology program specific resources. So we do have our dedicated staff advisor who would help students. So with their course planning, their career plan, so on and so forth. And we have the director, such as me, who can also provide this career advice as well. And we have a Biotech Student Association, BSA, who are a group of students within the biotechnology program, and they plan sort of monthly or regular events and socializing activities throughout the semester to help students feel more comfortable here at Penn. And on a more school level, our MBiot students can totally participate in this engineering master's advisory board representatives. So these are the group of students, a group of representative students who can talk directly to our dean in engineering to discuss their life here to sort of discuss all the improvements that are needed in the program and things like that. And within MBiot, we also offer a lot of info sessions regarding some of the career, mainly on the career options actually for PhD applications and to getting jobs in industry, so on and so forth. And within BSA, the Student Association, we also provide mentoring services such that our second-year master students will be matched to our first-year students to provide more in-person mentoring. So these are just some of the student resources that we offer, but that I kind of want to highlight this student resources through the career service. So the career service is the resources that the University of Pennsylvania provides to all our students. They offer, they are the ones who actually hold multiple career fairs throughout the year. And there exist career fairs that are specifically focused on biomedical and biological science, with focus on the biomedical and the biological sciences. And there is also career fair for STEM, the general STEM field. And there are some fairs that are that occur virtually that we are eligible, that all the students are eligible to participate into. They can also participate in some of the all Ivy or the consortium fairs. So these are the career fairs that are specifically designed for those students within the Ivy League school. So Penn is part of it. So all our students are eligible to participate in those activities. In addition to the career fairs, career fairs are the place where you can talk to the potential employers and discuss your career options and submit your resume or so. And so the resume becomes really important, and career service actually provides services where they can actually look at your resume and then they give you all the advice on how to make your resume look better. And they offer on-campus and online sessions with the career advice. And they also have a group of students who are your peers who can serve as career advisors, peer career advisors, to give you more sort of relevant advice. And in addition, well, they hold webinars, in-person events. They actually hold quite a lot of events throughout the semester or throughout the year. So students have all access to their future career plans. Right. And so I spent quite a time like talking about the career. So if you actually do get a master's degree from our biotechnology program, where do students go after they graduate? So these are some lists. So our graduate students have obtained a wide range of positions in industry, and some continued in their doctoral studies. So those are students who decided to go to industry. So these are the list of some of the jobs that the future career plans that our students took. So some of them went to pharmaceutical companies like Bristol Myers Squibb, Merck, Johnson & Johnson, and others, Novavax, and some of them went to work for government like FDA. Some of them went to more private sectors like Google or the Thermo Fisher Scientific, so on and so forth. In Philadelphia, we have huge advantage of having all global pharmaceutical companies nearby. So for example, Bristol Myers Squibb, Merck, Johnson & Johnson, these are all three companies who are located in the tri-state area between actually Pennsylvania and New Jersey. So they do hire our students quite often, and our students also get a lot of opportunities to interact with those people from these companies in the career fair, and that's how they got these jobs. Other fraction of students want to sort of continue their academic journey by applying to PhD programs or by applying to other professional schools, including medical schools and the dental schools. And most of our students who apply to PhD programs get to go to other great PhD programs in the country. And of course, a fraction of our students would be placed or would go to a PhD program at Penn, including within engineering and outside of engineering, such as in the med school. But some other students would decide to actually continue their career in other schools. And some of our students, these are the schools that our students went to, including Hopkins, Columbia, Dartmouth, USC, Texas MD Anderson, Boston University, so on and so forth. As I said, these are just few examples of the companies and the schools that our students went to after graduation. And you can take a look at our postgraduate outcomes through this link. Now, let me move on to, so the program really offers varieties of courses and research opportunities for students to advance their career. And we have a sort of a success record of sending our students to these leadership positions, both in industry and academia. So if you want to study here at Penn and get a master's degree in biotechnology, what do we need? So we're, of course, having a holistic approach, meaning it is really difficult or impossible to evaluate a candidate's potential for admission until we receive entire application. So we don't really make our decision just based on your GPA, just based on your test score or anything. We look at everything so we can make this holistic decision. So that requirements would include your transcripts, letter of recommendation, personal statements, and test scores. So you do need to submit everything so we can make that judgment. For the personal statement, it's really your chance to tell us about your interest in the program. What have you accomplished in your undergraduate, and what are your goals in your career, so we can tell how we can help you with. And we're looking for sort of strong letters of recommendations that would really show the candidate's scholarly and professional abilities. So these are often the letters from the professors who have taught you in classes and from the professors or the principal investigators whom you have worked with in a lab setting. The GRE scores are optional, but if you were able to take GRE exam and have valid scores to report, please do so. That's fine. And of course, we do need your up-to-date resume because that would give us a sense of what relevant coursework and training or experience that you have had that might not show on your transcript. So these are sort of the four required components that we often ask students to submit, and these are some of the tips on like what we are looking for. And who are you looking for? Of course, as we said, we're looking for like in every sort of all these criteria, we're looking for the best possible people. So in terms of academics, we're looking for applicants with strong grades in coursework. So show us how good you are in terms of academics, like in relevant fields. It doesn't have to be, you do not have to major in, say, biotechnology to apply to master's program in biotechnology. So we have students whose background is in biotechnology, biology, biochemistry, biophysics, sometimes pharmaceutics or bioengineering, chemical engineering. So we receive applications from all different fields, and that shouldn't be a disadvantage. So that your background, your major shouldn't really discourage you from applying to our program, because we do look for all these diverse pools. If applicable, again, GRE score is optional, but if you have good scores, why not? Please submit. From your resume, we're looking for sort of your achievements, things that you have accomplished and you did. So for example, what kind of a lab skills that you have had, what kind of internship you have done, what kind of contribution you have made through your professional experiences. And in the personal statement, we're looking for like, why are you interested in this program, or what do you want to get, like by receiving this master's degree in biotechnology from Penn, and how you actually plan to contribute to the student community at Penn Engineering. Like, why do you think you're a good fit to Penn, or what do you think Penn can actually offer you to advance your career? So in the end, that's what we're looking for. Students who can really add values and qualities. So we're looking for like future leaders in the field, right? So we're looking for those who are not only amazing in their coursework and research work, but who can also contribute to our leadership, community involvement, and who can help other students stay connected and engaged, so we can continue to like maintain our Penn sort of a community and Penn alumni system who could help others. So that's really pretty much it. I think I went through it rather quickly, but that's nice because that way we can have time to answer a lot of questions. If you have any of the questions, we're happy to answer that right now. And if you have any further questions that may not be resolved, please email us at this address, biotech@seeds.upenn.edu, and we'll be happy to answer any of the questions.
Awesome. Thank you, Bomyi. That was a really amazing presentation. And for all of you listening to this, that's your new master's program director. So all of you are in very good hands if you come to Penn. So we don't have a big group today, which is great. Don't be shy. Put your questions in the Q&A. The advantage of having a smallish group is also that means we have time to also take the questions live. So I know a number of questions have come in already, and I will be reading them off. And if they are specific to biotech, which looks like the majority of them are, then Bomyi will try to answer. So the first one I think relates to the earlier part of the presentation where you mentioned biotech students can work on research. So could you speak a bit about whether they need a master's thesis to graduate? Yes or no? And also like if they choose to do a master's thesis, what options are versus the independent study?
So the students are not required to submit master's thesis to obtain their degree in biotechnology. The only requirement that we do for those molecular biology track students who are interested in research is to complete this independent study. So towards the end of their semester, or at the end of the independent study, or at the end of this research work, they're actually expected to submit a written report. So that consists of anywhere between like about 15 pages of the report about what they did and what is the implication of their work in terms of a science. So that's not as sort of a thorough, or not as comprehensive as master's thesis, but that would still serve as a good record keeping of like what our students did. So in that regard, we don't really need, we don't require master's thesis, but if student wants to do a master's thesis, definitely they're encouraged to talk to us. And then there is an option where they can choose an advisor and then complete their master's thesis.
Cool. Thank you. So the next question relates to clubs. I have to start off by saying, as an associate dean, I have dealt with interacted with master students from all programs. I'm always impressed how diverse, well-rounded, and active, community building active the biotech students are. So, and this is a segue to the question, which is about the Penn Biotech group, whether it's still active and like what students are doing there.
Here, I'm wondering whether you're referring to Penn Biotech Association, the BSA, the Student Association, or in this case, the Penn Biotech Group as we have a different student organization of those who are interested in more of the biotech consulting type of the thing. So if you mean well, for both, actually, yes, we have a very active groups of students who are actually participating. So BSA, the Biotech Student Association, are the ones who plan all the social activities like mentoring, one-on-one conversations, or the lunch meetings, networking, so on and so forth. The PBG for that consulting focus are the group of students who actually do a lot of the case studies, and then they do like a lot of the mock interviews and all that. And it is yes, it is very highly active. I know that matter of fact because few of my own PhD and master students are involved in this program. Yes.
Cool. So the next question is about if a student pick a particular concentration in the application, can they change it once they get here?
Yes. Yes. So you can mention a particular track or a concentration that you're interested in your application based on your resume. And then after coming to Penn, it is relatively easy to actually change from track to track within the biotech program because some of the course requirements actually do overlap. So please talk to me or talk to Ishani, our biotech coordinator, who's amazing, and we will guide you such that the transition is very smooth and easy.
Cool. So there's actually two related questions. One just came and one was earlier, which is if a student came in and they maybe major in biology, chemistry, or biochemistry, or maybe even finance. And actually one of the students pointed out on your website, there's a student testimonial with finance background. So would how can they get better prepared, right? Would there be some engineering prerequisite classes they would take? And what kind of expectations are we looking at in terms of their engineering skills they need to succeed in the program?
So some of our engineering courses are quantitative in nature, meaning we will expect students we discuss the topics such as fermentation, bioreactors, in some of the large scale. So students are expected to know a little bit of math, up to a little bit of differential equations, a little bit of like equation solving, so on and so forth. But we do understand that some of the students actually apply to our program because they want to actually learn that aspect without much of the prior knowledge. In those cases, from the program, that's where this BSA, the Student Association, can help because they would offer a lot of the mentoring. And also many of these classes come with many of the faculty members who are teaching the course, as well as teaching assistants in the course, are happy to offer additional office hours, or through recitation, we actually prepare the curriculum or prepare some sort of classes which would help our students without a prior background in this quantitative science to catch up rather easily. So these are often done in our recitation.
Awesome. So the next question I think is generic to all master's program, but I will try to answer it, and then Bomyi can give a biotech kind of a focus on that, which is students starting out as master student and then transitioning to PhD. We do have quite a few master students who've done that. The most common route I've seen is they come to Penn, they take some classes, they do well, they approach the faculty, and then they start working in the faculty's lab.
And in their second year, they apply. They have to go through a fresh application. But this time the application will be much stronger, right? They will get letters of recommendation from the faculty. Some of them even win like outstanding research awards, and that puts them in a very like strong position to get admitted. And then they'll transition to the PhD program. I would say for master students who have done research, they are quite attractive to faculty for a variety of reasons. First of all, unlike admitting a PhD student externally, the faculty has a chance to work with you, to observe you. So the confidence level in your ability is much higher. Second of all, you would have finished majority of the coursework, which means when you transition to PhD student, you can have more time focusing on research. Yeah. So Bomyi, you want to
And
add to that?
yes, if I may add sort of a biotechnology specific perspective, we do every year, we do have at least a couple students, if not more, who actually successful transition from master's degree to PhD program within Penn. So even in my lab, I have two students who were master students when they first came to Penn, and then they approached me to work in my lab, and then they did this BioT 5990, such as our research programs, and then they just amazed me, and they expressed their interest in applying to a PhD program, and then I strongly encouraged them to apply to Penn, and I kind of like poached them because I didn't want to lose them. But similarly, there were other master students here at Penn who so really the requirement is that you should really do this research with the PI, because that's the way that the professor would recognize, sort of would be impressed with your research ability and would consider your application to the PhD program. And through that, I've also written letters for many of the students who successfully obtained a PhD position or the PhD standing, and both within Penn Engineering at Chemical and Biomolecular Engineering department, as well as Bioengineering department, and some other departments at the School of Medicine at Penn.
Cool. Thank you. So the next question, I think Bomyi you already sort of touched on, which is about GPA requirements. So I think we all evaluate applications holistically. There is a part of the question which is on the cohort size, like how big typically in a year you guys would have in your program.
Typically, we have anywhere between 50 to 60 students per year. Yes. And I echo what just Boon said. There's no such a thing as a GPA cutoff because we review this all holistically.
So the next question, I can take it really quickly. We don't provide fee waivers for students applying from another country, but we have for many years kept our fees affordable, so many students can apply. So the next question is about if a student is currently working at a lab already at Penn. And I think we've seen a couple over the years, right? This particular applicant is at a biomedical science laboratory. Would that help boost the application? And I don't know what is the arrangement here, but presumably the student will continue working at the Penn Medical School or lab somewhere, and then take the program part-time.
Whether it will be advantageous or not, I can't really tell because I haven't looked at other parts of your application. But certainly it is well, it is going to be viewed favorably just because you have this strong strong you are working currently here at Penn, and you have made research progress, so that will certainly help that aspect of your application for sure. And we do have actually quite a few of our students who are currently working in some of the laboratories here at Penn, and who are doing part-time studies with us. So these students often take 1 or 2 classes per semester. And so they can both continue to work in the research laboratory while gaining relevant coursework skills. And we actually tend to really like those students because they have a great background.
Great. So the next question is about a student with a finance background, but even though the degree is finance, has done some pre-med classes, would the student be viewed? How would such a student be evaluated?
Because it would, yes, they will definitely be considered. It would depend on the number of courses that the student took in that relevant field. So as the student mentioned, if the student had taken all the pre-med prerequisites, I would assume it would cover some of the basic biology, chemistry, and math courses. So based on that, we will make the decision.
Cool. So a student asked about getting the lab course waived. Could you tell us a bit about the process, and also assuming that class is waived, is it possible to finish the program in a year?
So we do have a lab waiver, but the students who have a relevant lab experience from their undergrad institution or through their professional experience in working in a laboratory, they need to submit a lab waiver about a page or two describing like what would qualify them to waive the lab course. However, that does not mean that, so that means that student does not have to take the lab course that we require. However, that doesn't mean that the student needs to now take like 9 courses instead of 10. The student still needs to finish all 10 courses. So how we waive it is we allow the student to replace the lab requirement into another course in engineering. So students still needs to take full 10 courses. And if the student is willing to take like 5 and 5 in a semester, then maybe within a year, but then that's not as common. If the student is willing to take some courses in the summer, then it may be a little more feasible.
Cool. So a student asked about our Bridge Masters to PhD program. So let me try to take that. So this program, we primarily target students who may be applying more to the PhD program, but we want to take a second look at them by having them initially be master's students and then continuing on to the PhD. That would have to be done full-time. So the next question is about international students. So I think I'll try to answer this, but then Bomyi, you can talk about the biotech. So we do have a lot of international students in our master's program, and a couple of things happened along the way. So many years ago, we opened up the bio fair to all biotech students. Those fair previously was mostly for med school and PhD students, but now a lot of bio-related master students also attend those fairs. And I would say now is a good time to be in biotech field. You know, if anything, COVID told us is the importance of bio plus engineering and health tech, right? So I think we've seen a big resurgence of interest. The other thing to note is I've seen a lot of international students end up getting great internships in the US. Some of them do it over the summer. Others also do it in fall, right? So Bomyi talk about the academic field study, because what we found is sometimes companies, particularly pharmaceutical companies, they may want to have the students be for a longer period. And sometimes fall also is easier to find internships. So we want to provide that option. And the fact that your program is 10 CU now, I think is going to make it easier for you. I've also seen students, especially when I go on trips overseas, of some of our master students finding jobs in their home countries. I would say the Penn Engineering degree definitely is globally known, and students get really good jobs overseas as well.
If I could add, I agree with everything that Boon said. Our international students typically can like get internships without much trouble. And during these career fairs that he had mentioned, the bio fairs and other career fairs that are offered by Penn, many of the companies actually do specify whether they are like open to hire international students or whether there is some like sort of restrictions. So you can, and there are always like very good, like a long list of companies who are open to hire international students. So those students can talk to these companies and get internships and other opportunities.
Cool. So one participant asked about whether students can get jobs in life science consulting companies.
Yes, definitely. Because we didn't specifically mention like these are a few consulting companies for obvious reasons that like, hi, we're serious about sciences. But of course, yes, actually a good chunk of our students do get jobs in this consulting industry. And that's why that PBG, the Penn Biotech Group, has been actually really popular among our students, because this is definitely the student group that would help our students interested in getting a job in consulting industry to prepare for the interviews and case studies.
So I want to just add briefly to that, because even though I don't work in the biotech areas, I've interacted with biotech master students. I think because of the nature of the program where students take classes across campus, they have a interdisciplinary mindset, very well-rounded, can present well, good soft skills. Actually, I think that makes them can succeed in a consulting job.
That's a good point.
So a student asked about working with a PI outside of engineering school, like School of Medicine.
Yes. So a good chunk of our students work with faculty members at the med school, faculty members at the Cancer Institute, like Wistar Cancer Institute, that's affiliated with Penn, and the Children's Hospital in Philadelphia, also again associated with Penn. So the students do not have restrictions on like whom do they need to work with. So many of our students actually work with like varieties of faculty members in the entire campus.
Next question is on quantitative biology. If a student studied that as an undergrad, what kind of internship opportunities in the tri-state area are there?
So for quantitative biology, many of the major pharma companies are looking for quantitative biologists, because they often have the sections for data scientists and the bioinformaticians. So our students with strong skill sets in quantitative biology can get jobs from there. There are in the tri-state area, we also have many of these sort of bioinformatics companies, such as GeneWiz, IDTs, or what was it? GenScript, who are really focused on playing with the large DNA sequencing data, so on and so forth. So they can totally be involved in those. We have many of the sort of startup companies and some like mid-sized companies who are focused on gene therapy, because those of you who are aware, Penn's the best in gene therapy. So in those cases, and they also do need some quantitative skills for their measurement and the optimizations. So they often get jobs through that route. So I would say tri-state area really, because of the convenience in like sort of all the transportations and sort of a geographical location and everything, it is really the best place for our sort of students with quantitative minds to get a job in relevant pharmaceutical fields.
Cool.
And sorry, if I may
Go
actually
ahead.
add to that last question regarding working with a faculty member and outside of the engineering, this is not only possible, and it is actually highly encouraged and easily doable, because I should have probably mentioned, but I kind of assume that everyone will be aware of it, is the Penn is one of a few few universities where their med school campus and the main university campus is very, very close. When I say close, it's literally walking distance, 5 to 10 minutes. So from my office to some of the main buildings in the medical school campus, it's really 5 to 10 minute walk. So that would really encourage help our students to actually take courses in the med school and talk with the PI at the med school, participate in their events. And that would also promote like a lot of the intercollegiate or like collaborations between the engineering school as well as the med school. So that's what I'm saying. What I mean by like actually working with those PI is not only possible, but it's definitely like doable, because many people do it.
Cool. So the next question is about starting in one master's program and continuing to another PhD program. Let me try to answer that, and then we can also take, Bomyi can also add to that. So we have 6 departments, but we have 15 master's program. A lot of master's program are actually interdisciplinary. Biotech is one of them. Robotics is another one. And there are others as well. I think consequently, you see a lot of crossover. For example, a student can go through robotics master's program, and they have the choice of becoming a CIS, EE, or a mechanical engineering PhD students. Likewise, biotech, because of the interdisciplinary nature, I think you can fit to many different programs. And to add to one point Bomyi mentioned, some of the med school faculty even have secondary appointments, or they are part of the graduate group in engineering school. So I would say definitely it's possible. In fact, many of us have joint appointments, right? So I'm in computer science, but I'm also in electrical engineering.
Yep. So I think he just answered your question. Yes, our biotech students are admitted to the PhD programs in chemical and biomolecular engineering, bioengineering at Penn Engineering, as well as some other biophysics at Penn Med School and molecular biology at the Med School, so on and so forth. And I am also affiliated with both here in CBE and bioengineering and with the cell and developmental biology at the Med School. So we have access to all these students.
So one question student asked is, are there any difference in the 3 tracks as far as transferring to PhD?
There are, so the courses that students need to take, so we ask these are 4 courses. We ask students to take these 4 courses that are relevant to their track. Some of them would overlap among tracks, some of them do not overlap. So in those cases, if they want to do a particular track, they should make sure to like take courses that are relevant for that particular track. But other than that, it's really about like what you want to tell your future employers that your focus was during your master's program. Other than that, it's all similar.
Cool. Well, the questions are coming in, so this shows a lot of interest. So one student asked about PhD in stem cell biology and medicine regenerative. Well, this is very out of my area. So, but Boon, do you know if students start off
Yes.
biotech and then they branch off to medical?
Definitely. Because in many of our courses, so for example, I teach a course in genome engineering, and in that course we actually talk about a lot of applications using the stem cell research as well as in the regenerative medicine. I'm actually a member of the Institute of Regenerative Medicine here at Penn. So through that, so students when they choose, so they can, and we also offer many of the courses regarding like, so the elective courses that we offer and that would actually meet the requirement of these different tracks would include some courses in stem cell biology as well as regenerative medicine or immune engineering, so on and so forth. So by taking these relevant courses and more importantly, by working with the faculty member who's doing these regenerative medicine, stem cell sciences, they can totally apply to the PhD programs in that field. And we do have a track record of students going to PhDs in those programs.
Cool. So the last but not least question is about overlap between biotech program and medical school courses. Are there any overlaps?
When you're talking about overlaps, as in can our biotech students take courses that are offered by the medical school, the answer is yes. So they offer some of the courses and our biotech students are eligible to take those courses. Likewise, many of the courses that we offer here at the engineering in the bio-related field, our graduate students from the medical school actually do take our engineering courses in the relevant field. So in that regard, there is a lot of overlap. And in terms of faculty, so for example, as I said, my primary appointment is with the engineering school, but I have a secondary appointment with the medical school, so we can call that an overlap. Similarly, as Boon has mentioned, many of our medical school faculty members are a part of a graduate group here in engineering. So that way, there is actually a lot of communications among the faculties, both in the med school and the engineering school. And our students are welcome to join and talk and work with any of the faculty members, either in engineering or in med school, or most likely in both.
Cool. So there is actually I thought that was the last question, but this is the last one. I think as we wrap up this webinar. So student asked about quantitative classes together with CS and engineering. Because we are one engineering school, I think it's not unusual to see students from different master's program take classes across, right? So for example, the artificial intelligence or machine learning class offered by computer science, if you go down the list, you will see students from all over engineering discipline. And it's not surprising, right? Given that you can apply this computational techniques in other areas. So yeah, I think there's plenty of such classes. So as far as the difference between bioengineering and biotech, Bomyi, do you want to speak to that a bit about difference between BE and biotech?
Good.
This is a hard one for me.
This is also a rather difficult one for me as well. With the biotechnology program, I think our focus is a little more on the technology side regarding the therapies or the drug deliveries and the clinical trials, so on and so forth. So it's a little more geared towards the pharmaceutical industry in terms of the industry future industry positions. And but in terms of academic research, we don't really distinguish as much because traditionally bioengineering focused a little more on the prosthetics and all that, but then now the trend has changed, so everything is somewhat interdisciplinary. But I could say that in terms of the coursework, we focus quite a lot on this pharmaceutical applications and some of these large scale operations, so on and so forth. But again, many of our biotech students still do take courses in bioengineering or work with faculty members in bioengineering, so the distinction is kind of blurred, unfortunately.
Yeah, both are excellent programs.
But both are excellent programs for sure, yes.
So yeah, we are almost now on the hour. So thank you, Bomyi, for such an informative session, and also thank you to all the students for and applicants here for asking such wonderful questions. We wish everybody all the best, and hopefully can see you in fall. This particular session is recorded. We'll be posting on YouTube, and you should go to our Penn Engineering website. There's links to different social media and other videos that you could watch as well. So thank you all. It's a great pleasure to see everyone, and thank you, Bomyi.
Thank you all. Looking forward to seeing you all next fall. Thanks.
Thank you.